What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a good Tuesday. We're going to make this a really quick show because I've got to leave soon. I'm still trying to edit through my lineups, and I'm playing the Max today. So we're going to get into it. Say what's up when you get on in here. Pop in your questions, and we'll go from there. I'll talk about the guys I'm most exposed to. For all of you who follow me on or follow us and our premium members, I've posted basically about as much info as I could post about my lineups, including my actual lineups, including a bunch of my lineup builds, as well as my exposures, both by dollar amount and by ownership percentages. So check that out. You have an idea of what I'm doing on this slate. The dollar amount is probably a better way of judging what I'm actually doing. So, and looks like Goldie's posting some lineups in there too. So I'm glad I caught the trend on. These are going to hit. Sometimes we're going to take some wild shots, but it's a giant slate. There's a bunch of tournaments, so we'll get right to it. Here we go. All right, so pitching, I'm a little more spread out than usual because I've got so many lineups, and I actually don't feel great about like any of the pitching basically. So I'm underweight Corbin Burns. I'm underweight slightly Blake Snell, but probably pretty close. Alex Cobb, I'm probably a little bit ahead of the field, a little bit below the field, maybe right near the field on Pablo Lopez. Right near the field on Savale, way above the field on Kirby, above the field on Verlander, above the field on Abbott by a lot. He's probably my biggest difference ownership-wise. A little above the field on Kopech. I probably have 10 to 15% instead of 5%. Trevor Williams, even though that game I really question playing at all, it worries me like crazy. I do think Washington and Boston, we have to keep our eyes on. But I do want to mention that I think that the Washington one, just because of what they've done to us in the past, just something to worry about. And then obviously the Boston one's a real consideration. But I'm still, because I'm playing multiple lineups, I'm still willing to gamble with it. And I'm going to play a decent amount of Boston. So, yeah, I'm trying to see who else I have some Summons pitcher. I have like 5% of Charlie Morton, who's going to be really low owned, like 5% of Steven Matz, like 7% of Domingo Germán. I have, who else? I have like 7% of Urias. I have Urias as one of my pitchers on FanDuel, actually, which I'm going to take a gamble on, but we'll see how that goes. I have like 4% of Chris Bassett, and like 3% of Kyle Hendricks, 5% of Rich Hill. So I am spreading out a little bit just to get a little bit of other guys. In terms of catcher, the guys who I'm playing the most, they're usually in stacks. The problem is I really like Keibert Ruiz today, and I'm just a little bit nervous about the weather. So I'm making sure if I'm going to play one national in my bigger buy-ins, I'm going to play 3 at least. It's going to be between 3 and 5, just because I don't want to get rained out and have it lose everything. And I also want to take advantage of the low ownership where I can. So I do like Ruiz, but we don't have a San Francisco lineup, and they're so horrible with getting their lineups out. It's making me very nervous because I've got to literally leave at 6:40 Eastern. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. But right now, Patrick Bailey would be my other top catcher. Gary Sanchez, Campusano, Jonah Heim, Sean Murphy. First base, Wilmer Flores, Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson as my favorites. After that, I have a little bit of Cassis. I don't believe we have a Red Sox lineup, which is weird, which makes me even feel weirder about that game in general, by the way. And that's a big worry. I have some Andrew Vaughn. Yeah. And then moving on to second, Ozzie Albies, Geloff for Oakland, Michael Chavis as a 2K punt, Christopher Morel, Hyesung Kim, and Marcus Semien. Third base, Austin Riley being my top one, Max Muncy, JD Davis, Flores over there, Josh Jung would be my favorites. Shortstop, love Ezekiel Duran, even though he's batting 7th. Bogarts, Arcia and Brave stacks, Abrams and Washington stacks, Schmidt and Giant stacks, and a little bit of Nico Horner. Outfield, Tatis, Soto as spend-ups. I love Bellinger in the mid-range. He's been the best hitter in baseball for this month. Tauchman's cheap. I like the lefties for the Cubs better than the righties, as I mentioned earlier. What else do we have? Castro and Wallner, assuming they get in the lineup, are super cheap as options. Ozuna, Rosario, Seth Brown is a one-off. Conforto, Matos, Yastrzemski, basically Slater, basically whoever makes the lineup for the Giants today would be my favorite. So that's what I'm doing. What are you guys doing? Here we go. What's up to K9? What's up to MJ? What's up to Pingalore? Rain over by 10 p.m. Yeah, but it's supposed to rain until 9 p.m. So I don't know how to figure that one out. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. 9 or 10 p.m. You want to start a game at midnight when you can play a doubleheader the next day, especially when you haven't released your lineup an hour before the game. Not exactly ringing endorsements for that Braves game. So that's where that's going to be a really, really tough one. This is going to be a really bad night. I'm going to have to try and sneak my laptop in. Anyway, it's just going to be nearly impossible for me to do this right, unfortunately. All right, fire on in any other questions or thoughts. Otherwise, I will get out of here whenever you guys do because I don't have a whole lot else to go through. That's pretty much what I'm doing with my lineups. And we could still use a Twins lineup, which that game starts soon. It's getting ridiculous with these lineup releases. I mean, everybody thinks the West Coast teams are the worst. They're actually the best outside of the Giants. The Giants are the worst of the West Coast teams. The Red Sox are awful, just absolutely god-awful at getting their lineups out on time. It just doesn't seem that way to everybody because they play earlier. Minnesota is another terrible team at getting their lineups out on time. Pittsburgh has been getting their lineups out late, but they've at least had some more reason. Well, some of those other teams have had reasons too. The Blue Jays tend to release their lineups a little bit later than most, which is irritating tonight. The Dodgers just released their lineup, so it is exactly as I had it projected. That feels good to me because I have a lot of Dodgers here. It's a strange slate because I don't feel outside of Atlanta and Boston. I don't really love, and even Atlanta, and not Boston as much. Atlanta, San Diego, San Francisco. I don't really love the stacks tonight as much. And I'm stacking, obviously, because I'm playing a bunch, that's what you do. But it just feels weird. I don't really love them. STL or Arizona feels like a shootout again. Sure. Yeah. I think St. Louis, Arizona is completely viable. I didn't get to them very much. I have a little bit of them. I have like 5% of their stacks in the MME, but probably 5% of each stack. But they aren't my priority. But I have no problem if you want to play them. I think it's actually a totally good play. I think you're right, Kane. I would have no problem going with that. Yeah, perfect. Exactly. That's the problem, Mike Carr. Like they do have perfect weather tomorrow for the doubleheader, and that's just kind of annoying. Pittsburgh just released their lineup, by the way. It doesn't look like anything that's off the board at first glance to me, but you guys can take a look as I'm still trying to do the show while I'm doing this. And Pingalore says, what about loading up on against Urias? Hot weather. I know you're a Dodger fan. Yeah, I actually think that it's never been in the past a good idea to stack against Urias because he doesn't really have bad games. This year he's showed some struggles and he's coming back from an injury. So I have no problem if you want to put a power offense like Toronto at no ownership against Urias. That's totally fine by me today. I don't usually second it. I am playing some Urias. I'm playing Urias in one of my two big FanDuel lineups just to get way off the board. And I think it got me the build I exactly wanted. And I think there's also there's the downside for Urias, but there's also plenty of upside for him to be one of the better scoring pitchers of the night. He's a really good pitcher. Tough matchup, obviously, but I think embracing any side of that Dodger game, Bassett, Urias, or either stack is totally viable on this particular slate. Keep firing in your thoughts and questions, guys. If there's anything else, I'm happy to go through it. This new X on Twitter, it just looks so stupid. I don't care what anybody's take is. Every time I go through it and try to find information, it just looks so stupid. Just such a stupid thing. And I can't see any reason. It's just so stupid. It's just really, really stupid. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the X thing. Anyway. All right, what else have we got in here? It looks like there's no more questions at the moment. Again, I'm going to do one more look at weather right now. It does look shaky in Washington and shaky in Boston still. I honestly don't know what Boston's going to do. So I'm going to come off some of my Braves stacks for what it's worth. That's my plan for the next 30 minutes. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So if there's nothing else, guys, I'll be in premium Discord all night, as will Rody, as will Goldie's usually in there as well. Guys, firing on any last questions, and please hit the like button before you get out of here, which makes it so we can do these videos for free. We usually have Sheets and I both here. We're usually here for the whole time. Today is an exception. Sheets is going live later at 8. I will probably join him for a portion, but I also have some plans tonight, so I'm trying to work everything out here. All right, guys. Any other questions or thoughts as I stretch out a little bit? Looks like we're drying up. Are we drying up? I think we are. God, if I could get my fucking arm better, I could actually start lifting again. It's driving me nuts. All right. What else do we got? Looks like that's it. I'm just going to say go ahead and good luck to everybody, unless there's no other questions or thoughts to drop in. And hopefully we can crush one tonight. But again, Atlanta is by far my top stack. Atlanta-Boston game, San Francisco Giants, probably my next favorite. Then you get into the Dodgers, the Padres, Texas, Cleveland, and the Cubs lefties. Good luck to you, K9. Good luck to everybody out there, and we'll see you guys at the top of the leaderboards. Good luck, everybody.